Have you ever heard of the Amityville Horror? It's not just a movie, it's based on a real story, and trust me, it's way more terrifying than any film. Let's dive into what really happened in that creepy house on 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. It all started in 1974 when a 23-year-old man named Ronald DeFeo Jr. did the unthinkable. One night, he grabbed a rifle and killed his entire family, his parents, and his 4 younger siblings while they were sleeping. One by one, he shot them in their beds. The house echoed with the sound of gunfire, but strangely, none of the neighbors heard anything. What's even weirder, none of the victims seemed to have woken up or tried to escape. It's like they were trapped, unable to move as something sinister took over the house. Ronald claimed he heard voices telling him to do it, but people thought he was just trying to cover his tracks. He was arrested, found guilty, and sent to prison for life. But the story didn't end there. About a year later, the Lutz family, George, Kathy, and their 3 kids, moved into the DeFeo house. They knew what had happened there, but the price was too good to pass up. I mean, who wouldn't be tempted by a huge house at a bargain? Well, they quickly realized why it was so cheap. From the moment they stepped inside, things got creepy. On the first night, the family's dog tried to jump over the fence, almost strangling itself in the process. George Lutz, the father, felt an intense cold all the time, no matter how warm the house was. He would wake up every night at exactly 3:15 a.m., the same time Ronald DeFeo killed his family. But that was just the beginning. Kathy Lutz began having nightmares about the murders, and the kids saw figures in their rooms, dark, shadowy figures that felt too real to be just dreams. One night, their daughter Missy started talking to an imaginary friend named Jody. Except Jody wasn't exactly imaginary. Missy described Jody as a demonic pig with glowing red eyes that would stare at her through the windows. Even George and Kathy saw those glowing eyes in the darkness outside. Then there were the voices. George would hear loud banging noises and voices calling his name, but when he went to check, there was nothing there. The walls would ooze green slime and doors would slam shut by themselves. One night, George woke up to find Kathy levitating above the bed. Another time, Kathy's face mysteriously aged, turning into a wrinkled old woman for a few minutes before going back to normal. Things escalated quickly. The family couldn't handle it anymore. After only 28 days, they fled the house, leaving all their belongings behind. They were convinced something evil was in that house. After they left, paranormal investigators were brought in, including Ed and Lorraine Warren, famous for their work on other hauntings like the Enfield poltergeist. They said the house was infested with an evil spirit and warned that it should never be lived in again. In one of the most chilling moments, the Warrens captured a photograph of what appeared to be a small boy peeking out from one of the rooms. But here's the thing. There were no children in the house at the time. Many people have questioned the Lutz family story. Was it all a hoax to make money? Did they exaggerate? Some skeptics think so, but George and Kathy stuck to their story until they died, and others who have entered the house reported feeling uneasy, hearing strange noises or seeing things they couldn't explain. Even today, people are drawn to the Amityville house. It still stands, although it's been renovated, and the address was changed to keep away thrill seekers. But for those who believe in the paranormal, the Amityville Horror remains one of the most terrifying, real-life haunted house stories ever told. So was it all in their heads, or was there something truly evil lurking in that house? Whatever you believe, one thing's for sure, the story of the Amityville Horror will continue to send chills down people's spines for years to come.